Good afternoon. How is everybody? Good? It's very interactive. Okay, I asked this question, probably in this crowd I'm not going to get the answer that I want, but how many of you ever been to a panel before that I've moderated? Oh my God, really? And yet you come back. Okay, so the ground rules. I end up doing probably 5 or 10 of these a month on every subject from heart transplants to digital rights. This is interactive. You guys are all sitting here because you hopefully wanted to hear what everybody up here besides me had to say. So I don't do the panel with like 10 minutes of questions at the end. If you have a question, if you have a comment, raise your hand, and as long as it doesn't break into complete chaos, we want this to be a dialogue not only between us up here, but between you. And ideally, we don't want you to leave here today not having discussed what you came here to have discussed by this panel. So what I want to do in that light is throw out to the audience. Anybody want to? Okay, let's do this. We're going to go down. Everybody's going to introduce themselves. After everyone introduces themselves, I'm going to let someone in the audience ask the first question of the panel, and we're going to take it from there. So why don't you start? Who are you? What are you doing here? And what keeps you busy during the day?
Okay, hello. My name is Achim Illner from Germany. I'm proud to represent a company from continental Europe, not only people from UK and the US. And I'm from DJ Tunes, digital download platform, founded in 2006, and I'm the CFO and co-founder. I'm personally come from the financial industry, and I have very good contacts to the VC industry, and already did an IPO in 1999 with a games company. And we were able to get the MP3 inventor, Professor Brandenburg, as an investor in DJ Tunes last year. So I'm happy to be here.
Next up.
My name is Mark Quayle. I'm a music lawyer based out of Toronto. I run a music publishing company called Q&A Music Rights Administration. I'm also the business affairs consultant that Beatport uses in their content agreement and a lot of their licensing internationally. So I'm here today representing Beatport and fielding questions on that side of things. I've been a lawyer about 20 years. I've been in-house at companies like EMI Music Publishing and Alliance Atlantis, which was a large film and TV production company in Canada. So I've sat on the corporate side as well. I have spent years representing artists, everybody from heavy metal bands, film and TV music composers, and loads of electronic artists. People like Derek May, Juan Atkins, Richie Houghton, John Aquaviva have all been clients of mine.
Cool.
My name is Mark Drury. I'm the general manager for Pioneer Europe. I have a responsibility for the general business, the profitability and the sales of Pioneer products throughout Europe, involving all different countries. We work with a team in each country, different subsidiary companies, and we are looking, we want to be here because we're involved with the IMS group, very pleased to do that. And we'd like to answer questions and be involved with, from the point of view of hardware, as opposed to my colleagues on the panel who are very much involved with either software or music download business. But I'm here representing those hardware manufacturers.
I'll throw in an intro. My name's Ted Cohen. My company is Tag Strategic, and we try and keep digital companies and media companies from shooting themselves in the foot. Started working in digital in 1982 at Warner Records. We started a digital media group to figure out what might be happening right now. Some of it we thought of, and most of it we never saw coming. And so I spend my days trying to work with startups and big companies and trying to get them to play nice in the sandbox.
My name is Ray Smith, and I am CEO of a company called Be At TV. We film and stream live music events from different venues and festivals and parties from around the world. So you can imagine, as opposed to going to Posh on Friday night, kids that aren't as privileged, that don't have the luxury of flying to Ibiza, they can watch it from the comfort of their own home. We film a lot of big festivals, but there's a whole community-based side where a lot of Facebook, MySpace tools where people can interact and global clubbers and fans and musicians can connect.
Hi, I'm David Morgan from Juno Records. Juno's an online retailer that started about 12, 13 years ago selling vinyl to the world's DJs. And today we sell vinyl CDs, downloads and DJ equipment via juno.co.uk and junodownload.com. And I work now on the digital side of the business.
My name is Justin Pierce. I head up the music side of things at DJ Download, which is another dance music download portal similar to the other panelists. I sort of manage the whole music side of things, the label relations, what music sort of we stock on the site, as well as some of the business development aspects of it.
Okay, so does someone in the audience have a good question regarding digital for the panelists up here to kick things off? That gentleman back there who threw his hand up he's got a microphone for you.
It seems... Is it on?
Yeah.
It seems like Spotify is taking over a lot of the full-time occupation of my friends. They don't buy the music anymore, they just stream it. A lot of releases seem to be hooked straight into Spotify. People are talking about hooking up with Spotify as a direct label in order to release their search. How are we going to survive that?
Okay, we jumped right into it. A lot of talk about Spotify. It's probably the hottest thing going right now. You had some thoughts about it, didn't you?
Well, is it any different from what you saw years ago with Napster?
Yes, it's legal.
Good point. He said, yes, it's
Okay.
legal. So here's Spotify. How many people, everybody familiar with Spotify? Who isn't? Let's go that way. Okay, only a couple of hands. So Spotify is an ad-supported free streaming music service, similar in many ways to Rhapsody, which runs in the States. And they're probably unique in that they got licenses from all the labels before they started. They didn't start out as an illegal service that ultimately paid the labels $80 million and then went legal. So they started out by getting licenses, and they've kind of taken the world by storm. People in the U.S. figure out ways to cheat so they can get access to it from Europe. And so the idea of music at your fingertips, this idea of the celestial jukebox of everything that's ever been recorded is now there at your fingertips is actually pretty seductive for people. So
it's
it
taken
begs the
away. You're saying it's taken away the guilt element by it's supposedly illegal. I'd submit that the guilt element was never there. It was always free to begin with. I mean, I don't think people lost a lot of sleep by downloading off Napster. And I think the way that digital sales are going to continue to survive are providing the service and the quality of the product that we have up until this point that allow Beatport and DJ Download and other sites like that to provide a product that you, the DJ, can use in the club, readily available in a timely manner. Doesn't mean it's going to be easy. There's always going to be some element that we're going to have to address and fight against. But basically what I'm saying is it's going to be more of the same. We continue to fight against free on a daily basis.
what's wrong with free? What's wrong with free if people get paid? In other words, the idea of Spotify is free to the consumer, but the artists get paid, the publishers get paid, the songwriters get paid, the creators get paid. Is that a bad thing?
You know what? It's like water out of the tap. I mean, that's free, but I'll pay for this. So, what's the difference? If I'm assuming that if you're buying it, you're getting something that you need from the system, and maybe that's an exclusive track, maybe that's a better quality MP3 file, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, I'm assuming because we're still in business that we're doing something that is satisfying that audience and delivering. Otherwise, yeah, you know what? There will be some guys who pull off 50% of what they listen to that day from Spotify, maybe get something off LimeWire or SoulSeek, and then they buy a bunch of tracks from a digital retailer.
Okay.
There are also two sides to look at it. I mean, if from the record label side, I would imagine there's an anxiety that that the type of money that comes from streams that might come back to a record label, particularly an electronic music label, might be so small that it's the anxiety is that your music could be up there and the money coming back to you is pittance. From the consumer side, I think Spotify, certainly in my case, is one of the first sites that's done an absolutely brilliant job. I mean, once you start using it, it is super slick. You click the track you want to listen to, it plays immediately. They're adding new functionality all the time. It is absolutely brilliant from a consumer point of view.
Do you think it drives sales?
I heard Daniel Ek, who's the guy who started Spotify, at a small industry meeting one night, and I think Spotify is probably, as a free ad-supported model, the first one that is actually going to have the critical mass that might actually turn it around, and that's the amount per stream. The volumes might be so high that it actually does make a difference to record labels. Because I think to date we've seen the demise of the spiral frogs. There have been countless sites laid to waste, along the road that just haven't had the critical mass. I think largely because they didn't address what the consumers needed. But once you've got a site like Spotify that works so well, and literally every friend we've told about it has signed up immediately, they all use it, they love it, they're creating playlists at parties, they are creating enough streams that there are enough ads being played, and there's enough visibility that advertisers will want to use it en masse because you're getting these people. You're getting so many people using it that the advertisers want to be on it. With clever advertising, they can point advertising to you that suits like your user tastes and everything, so you don't get served advertising for bands that you don't necessarily like. So the whole model actually works, and they've got the critical mass. I mean, the way they're growing at the moment, hopefully for the first time, decent amounts of money can come back to the record labels, and it could be a really good working model.
But do you think it supports sales, or does it obviate the need to own music?
I think
it's a difficult one.
Anybody? Yeah.
I was going to say, from Juno's point of view, we talk to our customers about it, and a lot of them have said that they use Spotify as a sort of research tool, if you like, and they're finding out sort of new bits and pieces. But as music users, rather than just pure music listeners, they will then come back to Juno and/or other sites to actually purchase it, so they can do what they want. They need a high-quality audio file to do what they need to with.
So have services like Spotify become radio, in effect?
In a way, yeah.
Okay.
But I do think there's also a challenge for digital download stores to actually take the best features of the user friendliness and the functionality and actually apply them to digital download stores, because it is really, really slick.
So how are you doing it? So what are you seeing there that you're employing?
Just the usability in terms of ways that we would want to adapt our player and have all sorts of weird and wonderful things you can do with one click of a button to your playlist, and and sort of select things from there to buy with one click.
In your daily life, does streaming replace the need to own? I mean, does anybody need to own anything from you, or is the
No, absolutely.
ubiquitous access replace it?
I think the PR and marketing tools, by allowing people to listen to free streams of music that they wouldn't have access to otherwise, far outweighs some of the monetary value that you can get in the long term. If you look at a site like Spotify, and if I were sitting at home and I didn't know actually what I wanted to listen to, they allow you to hear new tracks and things that you would have never discovered. As far as from an artist standpoint, a certain DJ
But
only.
do you think the discovery tools are good on Spotify? I mean, you can get what you want, but if you don't know what you want,
Well,
does it guide you? I don't think there's other.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. I haven't
the referral
got that
tools-
deep into the discovery side of it.
The referral tools that you can use with a site like Spotify are fantastic. I mean, if I'm in the mood to listen to X and I have no idea what X is, if I go into a site like that, it's going to open up my world to a whole new list of music and a whole new list of artists that I've never discovered before, and that
Right.
in turn drives sales. Because
Right.
if I'm a medium-tiered artist that I don't have access, to distribute my music and no one's ever heard of me, it's a brilliant outlet for people to actually discover me without, having a big marketing or PR team behind me.
In my personal experience, I've definitely listened to more music, more varied music than I think I've ever listened to in my life. Because to pay £10 for a Bat for Lashes CD when I didn't know too much about it, but to find the album on Spotify, have a listen, then I find out she's on the Live Lounge, look at that, and then the likelihood is that I probably go and seek her out at a festival to go and watch her in concert, having discovered the music. So in terms of whether the monetary gains come from live events, ticket sales and that kind of thing, I've definitely discovered artists and have spent money, albeit not necessarily on a CD of theirs, but have spent money seeking them out and in some way involved around what they do, more so than I had before, in my personal experience.
Are these sites serving the dance community to the best that they can? Or is there room for growth?
Well,
I mean, I don't want to turn this into
I-
a Spotify Love Fest.
Yeah,
I think
no-
Spotify's really good, but I think it shows possibilities. I don't think it's the end.
well, I mean, I don't want to sit up here and self-promote, but they do something very similar to what we do.
Okay.
We broadcast, live events. So for I think a DJ, for example, like a Pete Tong, he has a global fan base. But Pete Tong can only be in one city at one time. So if fans want to continue to listen to Pete Tong's music, the only way that they can use it is via digital. And so what digital does is it opens up artists' new music to a global community. So if Pete Tong's fan base is in South America and he's not there, his fans can still access his music and still hear things that he does without him actually physically being in that city. So I think as far as from a promotional tool, it's fantastic because it will drive ticket sales next time that these artists tend to come back into town. It will end up driving DJ download sales when a lot of times these tracks aren't discovered otherwise.
Okay. I think songwriters. Songwriters in the audience? Just pure songwriters, not performers. Oh, okay. There's a couple of you. Do you feel that it... okay, so I'm going to pick on you in the front row here because you're a songwriter.
Yeah.
How does piracy affect your life? Well, I'll give you a microphone here. We're going to put you on the spot.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, I'm not that experienced yet, so I'm still trying to find out what's the best way to promote your music without having everybody to download it for free and sell it at the same time, which obviously is a dilemma.
Okay.
So, no much... You want to say something? No?
Go ahead, jump in.
Well, I think something crucial here is just to explain to the audience how does it work, a worldwide aggregator in the digital world, and what's the difference to an online shop. Because I think the worldwide aggregators are just making a great change in the way that they support, or they are on the artist side more than the online shops that they take a percentage of, whatever.
So when you
your
say a
tracks
worldwide
are.
aggregator, who do you mean, for
Yeah,
example?
like Music Just Music from Germany.
Okay.
So I would like to know what would be the difference in this case if Akin Igner from Germany could explain a bit more what's the difference between a worldwide aggregator and an online shop.
Well, if you look at the value chain of the digital music scene, we are the distributors, we are the face to the customers, the online platforms, and most of our content we receive from the aggregators. And this value chain, there is a strong partnership with this aggregators like Continue Media, for example, in Germany. And it's for the success of the sales, we think it's important that this partnership is more supported also by the aggregators, that they give more promotion into the market, into the digital scene, like using the social networks more and more, giving more support to increase sales, and not let only the platforms do the job. I think that's not sufficient, and I think that's also a task, what I would say as a thesis for the future, to make progress in the market, in the digital area. And well, let's...
Can digital specialists compete effectively with iTunes and Amazon? Can you make a living when you can't compete on price? So how do you compete on service?
Well, this goes more to the broader perspective, like this Spotify discussion. I think in the mass market, in the mass digital market, there's a shift towards this musical consumption, music usage thing against the music ownership. But I think we here in the electronic area, we have some wallets or wall to this because the DJ needs the music and he has to buy it at some point. And so I think we are in a better position. And my personal perspective is that